Welcome back to week 3 of Life After Death, where we're speaking with my good friend Clever and the journey that he went on, the roller coaster journey he went on when his wife Patricia just suddenly died, his best friend, and the drama and the trauma that surrounded the death and him journeying back to Zimbabwe to put her to rest, and then his journey back to Cayman and the sessions, the counseling sessions he went through, not only with his pastor, but he got professional counseling, and the circle of friends he had around him that provided a home, that provided food, because Clever had lost the ability to take care of himself because Patricia did all of that for him. But where we left off last week was not questioning God on the why, but we find that hard to do, especially when we're faced with the last enemy of death. So Clever, talk to us. When your friend said to you, don't question God, don't ask why, journey with us through that.
Thank you, Ingrid, and thanks for having me again.
Yes.
Just to share my story. So I was, he told me we cannot question God why, and also there's no disappointment in God. So the thing that was happening in me is I just wanted to have some bit of understanding as to, okay, why now? Why her? Why me? I mean, there are people out there who probably don't care if they lose their life or not, based on the way they, handle themselves. But Patricia was one person full of life, and I could see like a bright future. But why? She was a very intelligent woman, very intelligent, down to earth. So I just couldn't understand why it had to happen and why it had to happen the way it did. I even started questioning, okay, so I stayed with Patricia for 4 years, give or take. Why did it happen when we are still at the prime of our marriage?
Because that was how many years into the marriage?
So this was just 4 years into the marriage. So that makes almost 10 to 11 years of knowing her, right? I've known her for 10 years. And for those 10 years, 4 years been in marriage. And we are still in our prime, where we had, very hopeful, like we were hopeful, where we had some nice ideas of we want to travel. We still, a lot of things that we needed to do together. Because guess what? In the first 3 years of our dating, because 3 years we're friends and then we're dating, we didn't have money. We couldn't afford a trip.
Here you are in the Cayman Islands.
Now
right?
we're in Cayman, we feel like we've built up our savings.
Yes.
We can travel, places and
Get
be
a good
together.
honeymoon.
Exactly. Actually, that's what we want to do. Like we want to have our honeymoon in Hawaii. Actually, we're thinking, well, you know what? We're going to replay this and we're going to have our honeymoon in Hawaii. Well, I wanted Honolulu and she wanted Hawaii, but obviously she's the lady of the house, so she would win, right? So we are planning to go there. So having all that, and I'm like, but the urge to ask the question why just kept coming. But and that's also the other thing that my pastor made me understand that just look around you. Look at the strife that you see. Those people don't choose to be where they are. I've even stopped to think about orphans. They don't choose to be orphans. Their parents didn't choose to die to leave them to be orphans. Yeah. And in some cases, those orphans, they didn't even have anyone to look after them. They have to fend for themselves, and it's tough. And the world is unfriendly.
Wow.
People will be unfriendly on the day that the parents die, but after that, no one cares.
No one cares. I
They go
realize
on
that.
with their lives.
I realize that when someone dies, you have a company, a group of friends around you, family, friends, and the minute that they're laid to rest, it's like you're
That's
expected to continue on your own journey
exactly
by yourself.
by yourself. So then I, begin to just, appreciate and understand that, yeah, things do happen. But then, you are bound to ask, but God, why do you let those things happen? And to be honest, no one has an answer for that. Or I'm yet to see anyone who can give me a convincing answer as to why those things, why bad things happen to good people. It happens. And to be honest, it's someday we'll get to understand why. But the long and short of it is we cannot get disappointed in God. He knows it all. He's got it in control. When something happens with our own limited minds that cannot see way into the future, that cannot understand what's going on, that cannot even see what's going on around
Right
us,
now,
that even forgets what happened yesterday. We will forget, right? With our limited mind, we cannot comprehend uh, when things do happen. So that just gave me the strength to accept. Because I remember one of the biggest things that my professional counselor mentioned is acceptance is point number one to the road of recovery. Once you fail to accept, then you know you are not going to recover.
Wow.
So I had to accept what may to other people be unacceptable. I had to accept it.
How did you come to that acceptance? Just a little bit of how you actually came to the realization, the acceptance to say, you know what, Bebo, this has happened.
I would lie if I say this was all my doing and my mind, and I got it together and I just got up and told myself that, hey, this is it, you have to accept it. No, it wasn't a smooth road. I had hiccups, I had struggles, but slowly this was it came to me slowly. The
Is
struggles
it struggle in the relationship with God?
um
Or is it just struggle, what? Describe.
I wouldn't say, and this is very interesting to me actually, when you're saying it, because my relationship with God, I wouldn't say at any point I reached a point where I'm like, okay, what's the point of even worshiping if it's like this? No. Um, I continued, like, I wouldn't want to misjudge. Yeah, because it was a source of strength for me. I remember even when I was in Zimbabwe, I went to church, and you could actually see that people are looking at me. They're looking at you in a way like feeling sorry for you. Um, to be honest,
I don't know if you're like me, but when people feel sorry for me, I start crying. I just like or get angry.
Exactly. Actually, I was getting angry. I'm like, I'm still a normal human being here. Like, you can see that people, they would have good intentions. They want to make sure they show you that they are empathizing with you and sympathizing with you, but that's not what I want. Like, I just want to be normal, and for a moment not to keep thinking that people are feeling so sorry for me because this has happened to me. Um, so in any case, it wasn't an easy road, but one thing I'm so thankful of is I never lost my faith, and I think that helped me a lot.
Because a lot of people, they waver in their faith, especially when hit with a thunderball like that. They're like, I'm true, I'm done.
Exactly. Yeah. And to be honest, it was such an honor that my pastor used to call me frequently, checking on me. And, he'll just call like, hey, I'm just checking on you. Are you okay? Are you all right? And, and that's one question which, in most cases, people don't ask. Sometimes you don't need to say this, you don't need to say a lot of things. No, just ask me, are you okay?
Are you okay? Really okay too? Because sometimes they say, yeah, we're okay, but are you really okay, Clever?
Exactly. Like that question, I got to realize after having gone through all these experiences that this question is a very important question. And right now I'm in the habit, if I'm having a conversation with somebody, I actually touch them on the shoulder, like, are you okay? Are you really doing all right? And that question, I mean, even if the person doesn't tell you exactly what's going on, but it makes a difference, a huge difference in that person's life. So me having that support, it did help. I mean, it wasn't an easy thing for me to come to the acceptance, but constant discussions with the right people as well. I think I made it a point that
who were some of the right people outside of pastor
oh, okay.
counselor?
Good. So I had a very good set of friends. I don't know if I can say their names, but yeah, I had a very good set of friends. And the good thing about these guys, what they kept telling me is, hey, don't be hard on yourself. And when we're together, we wouldn't talk about it. We'll talk about other things and we'll laugh, and this guys just stuff just bring in, we talk about, and then we laugh about it and stuff. And I think for the very first time I used to I started liking going out, just to hang out with guys. And when I come home, I'm just ready to sleep, and I'm really
speaking
ready
of
to sleep.
home, how long did it take you to move back into your house?
So I got back on island mid-June. I only managed to went back to my house end of August. So that was almost 2.5 months. Yeah, that's when I was like, you know what?
How did you feel?
That's a few days. So this is a very interesting thing. So I had a 3-bedroom house to myself. At that point, actually I didn't want to stay with anybody. I just wanted my me time there. I looking at then and when I first came on island. I remember the very first day I came in, I needed to grab some clothes of mine and I went there. It was around 7 p.m. I couldn't stand being in the house. I actually came out running. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. So I had to leave, and then I went, and then I came the other day with a bunch of my friends, and then that's when I could then I just brought in someone to do the cleaning, and then I had to change literally everything in the house.
So what about her stuff? What did you do?
Oh, the stuff I had taken them home. When we went for the burial, I would just carried everything that belonged to her, and then just gave it to her parents. Yeah. So effectively, I had to change everything. The furniture in the house, like I changed everything. I just sold everything that was new. I had painting done and everything, and that just kind of gave a little bit of. I mean, this was not to say I wanted to get rid of the memories, but it was more of I just want a new environment to help me move on. And you know what?
Because not to interrupt you, but sometimes we find that people get stuck having the same thing. They have the clothes, everything is the same. It's like you're living in this memory.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to break out of, right? And also an important word that also helped me was, Patricia wanted the best for you, right?
Yeah. You did say that at the very beginning.
Exactly. She wanted the best out of me. Yeah. So, and the next question was, what do you think she would want for you right now? Like, if she were to be looking at you, what do you think she would want you to be doing? Crying over her? Like, I don't think so. She wants you to live your life and live it right and to the fullest. That also was, I think it was a life changing
Mm.
statement for me.
Wow.
Then I got to understand that no, she wants me to live. Like the moment I found myself drifting back into those memories,
Right.
and I'm there and it's getting me down, I'm like, no, she wants me to be the best that I can be. And definitely she wanted that. Even if she was alive, she would want me to be the best that I can be. So that also helped me to to tag along, move along, and kind of pick myself up and just keep living my life. And thankfully, my company was very understanding because they
Good.
now moved me into another department to
Okay.
also give me like a new kind of set of experiences and new environment just to help me to. And they said, you know what, if you want to leave, we understand. I'm like, no, I'm not going anyway.
So both of you used to work in the same department
Well,
prior to her demise?
it was same department because it's audit, but now just different groups.
Okay.
So yeah, we were pretty much in the same area in the company. So me changing and moving to another department, I think it played a very big role. One, in helping me to cope, and secondly, in also just help me to remain in Cayman.
Wow.
Probably I would have said, guys, I can't take this, and I have to go. Yeah, but that helped me to stay on, and I'm happy. I'm happy I made the decision to stay.
Wow.
That's what I want.
I'm happy you made a decision to stay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow, gosh, that story, that journey of faith, because that's what it took. It took faith for you to not only let go of the memories. Well, I wouldn't say let go, but try to
live with it.
To live with it as best as you could, and also to ask yourself the deep question: what would Patricia want? And she would want the best for you.
Indeed. Yeah. And to be honest, it also took me like, if you ask me, do we always have things flowing between me and Patricia? The answer is a big no. No.
Hey, when it comes to a man and a woman, if you said yes, clever, then I would
be
have
like,
to
no,
go call Patricia.
exactly, like come back and
come back here and testify.
It wasn't right. It wasn't smooth always, but what also helped me was just the good memories. I had lots of these, and they helped me just to know, and also knowing that she was a woman of faith, very strong woman of faith. Like, she was unwavering when it comes to her faith. So knowing that she is in a good place, to me, it just gave me a lot of comfort that, hey, she's not with me. I would rather, would have wanted to be with her, but she's at a better place. That also, again, stemming from faith, right? So I would say the faith really, really also helped me to to navigate the challenges and make through for sure. Yeah.
Now that you said Patricia would have wanted the best for you, I am going to ask you the big question. How long did it take Clever to actually start looking to see what his mommy said? Will it be 3 months? And when we come back next week, this is where the rubber hits the road, brother. We're gonna hear what happened. How did Clever pick himself up and get back on the road again?
Indeed.
So until next week, thank you again for sharing.
Excellent.
And thank you, listeners and viewers, for your time spent with us today. And I hope that Clever's story so far has brought you a ray of hope that, hey, you're not the only one that's going through your difficulty. Until next week.
Let's get loud.